Good day children, Sai Ram and welcome back to our next lesson in history, that is beginning of the freedom movement. Okay children, in the previous lesson we have learnt about the religious and the social reformers. Okay, we have learned about the religious and the social reformers who tried out ways and means to bring about an awakening, to bring about a reform in the Indian people. So let's start with this lesson over here called as beginning of the freedom movement. Now, as you all know, English education was started in India. Just because of this English education, there was a mixed effect on the Indians. On the Indians, a mixed effect could be seen. The seed of nationalism also was sown by the newly educated reformers. Okay, those who were newly educated from this English education, they started bringing out in the people the seeds of nationalism. That means bringing about a nationalism in the country. Then, just because of the movements that were taking place in different parts of the India, what was happening because of all these things, because of the English education, because of the seeds of nationalism, and because of the movements that were taking place throughout the country, this had an impact on the people, and the people thought, why not build a political organization at the Indian level? Okay, so the thought came to the mind of the people, why we should not build our own political organization. Okay, and just because of this, the people came together. Okay, through various provincial political organization, different groups of politically aware people, all these people came together to express the aspiration of the nation by diverting the public attention. Okay, they started diverting the public attention to build up a new political organization. That was the main aim, and that only we are going to learn in this lesson. I hope you all have understood, children. Next, centralization of administration during British rule. You all must be knowing the British rule. Okay, because of the British rule, the whole country had come together. They came to know each other. They knew that we should be together to remove the Britishers out of India. Just for that sake, at least, the Indians had come together. That also under one roof. Prior to the British, before the British came to India, the Indians were not like this. All the kings were there in their own world. We can say they had their own selfish needs. Okay, no, the country was not at all a full family like. Okay, just because of the British entry over here and the atrocities of the British, the country had become a full family now. Okay, the identical reforms all over the country, equality before law, okay, the feeling of nationalism, all this had developed in the people now. Okay, this sense had come into the people now. Then, as we know, the Britishers had started the roadways, railways, okay, just for their own administration. But that only was very much beneficial for the Indians too. Just because of these roadways and railways which was started by the Britishers. Now, what had happened? This increased the communication between the people of India. People came to know each other. Okay, the people came to know what is good and what is bad for them. Okay, the feeling of nationalism had also grew up in the people. So this had happened just because of the British itself. To remove the British, now the people were using the things put up by the British only. Okay, so the British brought the nation under one roof. Okay, then the second thing is the roads and railways benefited the Indians as well. This is only called as centralization of administration during British rule. Okay, the administration had become centralized. What is the meaning of that? That means it was not at all, we can say, bifurcated or decentralized. Okay, it was not in one king's hand now. Now the people had come under one roof. Okay. Second thing is the economic exploitation, which we have already learned. The Indian wealth which was there, now it had started already flowing as if a river is there. That way the wealth of India was flowing towards England. Okay, once upon a time, the India was known as the that is the golden bird. Now India was left with no bird also and no gold also. Okay, such was the condition of India now, because almost the uh, Britishers as well as the Dutch, the Portuguese, whoever had come to India had exploited India very, very, we can say, highly. The imperialist policy of England led to the economic exploitation of India. Okay, what was the exploitation? You all must be knowing. The farmers were compelled to grow only cash crops. The burden of taxes was them on them. Frequent famines were taking place. All this had broken the backbone of Indian agriculture. Okay, as well as you all must have, we have already learned, traditional industries also declined, leading to unemployment in our country. People were not having any jobs. Okay, so Indian people's condition was becoming from bad to worst. Okay, the exploitation of worker class by the capitalist. Okay, the worker class who were there, they were exploited every now and then. That had become very much common. Then imposition of new taxes every now and then on the middle class people only. Okay, the taxes were mainly on the middle class people, not on the high class and the other people. Okay, it was mainly on the middle class only who were suffering because of this new taxes. Okay, the middle class were trying to gain their status somehow, but this taxes was overburdening them. Okay, this is the economic exploitation that had taken place in the British. Okay, all this had led to the beginning of the movement. Okay, beginning of the freedom movement. Next is Western education. Just because of the Western education which was introduced into India, we have learned that new ideas had started coming to Indian people. Okay, then ideas like justice, liberty, equality, then democracy, such type of ideas had started coming to India. Okay, and people started accepting them also. Okay, then many of them accepted the principles also. The Indian people accepted the principles of rationalism, then scientific attitude, humanity, nationalism. Now what is this? Rationalism, we all know what is the meaning of rationalism. What is the meaning of rationalism? Rationalism means the belief or principle. Okay, the belief what we have, the principle what we are applying in our day-to-day life has reasons and knowledge behind that. Okay, it is having some reasons and knowledge behind that, then only that principle is applicable. Okay, not like that it is dependent upon the religious belief. Okay, or we can say emotionally, if anybody is telling you to do something, not because of that. Okay, rationalism means that principles and that belief which are coming to you, okay, through some reason and knowledge, proper knowledge, that is called as rationalism. What is scientific attitude? That attitude which is developed because of a reason, the way of reasoning out. Okay, not superstitious belief. Whatever we are doing, that should have a certain scientific reason behind that. That is called as scientific attitude. Then humanity. Okay, treating each others equal. Okay, not low class, high class. No, humanity means creating a good equal sense among each other for each other. Okay, and nationalism means oneness in the people of the country. Okay, that is called as nationalism. These were the principles which were accepted by the Indian people now. Okay, just because of the introduction of the Western education. Then the capability of carrying out the work of the country and its progress by following these principles was inculcated, put up into the minds of the people in India. Okay, it was forced into the minds of the people that you all have to follow this principle. That is very much good for you all. Okay, and this had become possible just because of the Western education. As you all know, India is a country in which there are diverse languages. Okay, but by the introduction of English language into it, this gave a new medium of communication to India. Okay, children, till here you all have understood. So Western education is the next reason for the beginning of the freedom movement. Next, study of ancient Indian history. Now let's study about the ancient Indian history. The Asiatic Society was established at Bengal by the Britishers only. Okay, the Asiatic Society was established at Bengal by the Britishers, because of which many Indian and Western scholars, they had started the study of Indian culture. In previous lesson I had told you about this. Okay, just to understand India very well. Okay, and just to understand India very well, so that the Britishers could administer very well in India, so they had started this institute. Okay, so that more and more people try to understand the culture of India. So here what happened, many Indians as well as the Western scholars had started the study of Indian culture. Okay, because of which the manuscripts in Sanskrit, Persian and other languages were examined and research were published. Okay, research of this was published in the newspapers. Dr. Baudaji Lad, Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar, these were the people who made intensive study about the culture of India, ancient Indian culture. Okay, and because of which, now because these people had started study of Indian culture, like Baudaji Lad and R.G. Bhandarkar, what had happened? The people, the common people came to know about our glorious ancient tradition. Okay, we came to know how India was and how we are today, and what we should do to gain our tradition back, ancient tradition back. The Indians were awakened because of this. Okay, and a sense of identity had come into their mind, that we are also something, this is our country. Okay, that awakening came into the minds of the people just because of these people who studied the Indian culture and brought about an awakening among the people. Now, the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute, okay, which is working in Pune till now, since last 100 years. Okay, their main aim was this only, to study the Indian culture and to maintain the Indian culture. That was the aim of this research institute. Yes, so here is the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute, which is working since last 100 years in Pune about the study of ancient Indian history. Here is a picture of Baudaji Lad. Okay, then R.G. Bhandarkar, Dr. R.G. Bhandarkar. Now, this is the research institute. Okay, what is this institute? I told you what is the name of this institute. It is the Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute. What it is? Bhandarkar Oriental Research Institute. Okay, in Pune. Next is contribution of newspapers. The English and the vernacular newspapers and periodicals came to be published, which brought about political and social awakening. Okay, the English language papers and the vernacular newspapers, okay, that is the different languages newspapers and periodicals, this came into being, and which brought about a political and social awakening among the people of India. Which were the newspapers? Newspapers like Darpan, Prabhakar, Hindu, Amrit Bazar Patrika, Kesari, Maratha. Then these are the newspapers who started criticizing the government now. Okay, children, till here I hope you all have understood. The remaining part of the lesson we'll do in the next lecture. Till then, thank you, children.